Wake up, wake up. It is time for another Method Man episode. Welcome, students. Today, you are going to learn how to do long division with polynomials. The lesson's kind of tough, so if you have to get up, kind of slap yourself a couple times. I already had one person fall asleep on me. If you really just follow along and just trust me, at least look at the first example, you will get this, I promise. But here are all the examples that you're going to do. Example 1 and 2 is just practice, but make sure you pay attention to example 3. Example 3 is super important because it's a special case scenario. If you hit the description box below, you don't have to write the examples down because I got you with that free worksheet. I really don't have time to talk. Let's just get to the problems. Let's go. To start this off, to divide these polynomials, we're going to take whatever we're dividing by, our divisor, and we're going to put that right on the outside, m minus 8. Then we draw that house of division, that little house thing, and then we put the dividend in the inside, m squared minus 7m minus 11. I wrote the steps on the side. It's very similar to dividing regular numbers. First step is to divide. We're going to divide this first term in the inside by this first term on the outside. And you want to kind of block everything else off. You want to just imagine dividing those two. And sometimes it helps to write it on the side. M squared divided by m equals a single m. You got to know your rules of exponents too. But as long as you know all those little skills, this is not that bad. That m, the result, I'm going to write on the top as part of my answer. And that is step 1. Step 2, you're going to multiply this to both of your terms in your divisor. And you're going to write that result right under here. So let's do that. M times m is m squared, and m times negative 8 is just negative 8m. The last step is to subtract. So here's the easiest way to explain it. Just change the signs of both of these terms. That's basically you subtracting. Otherwise, you're going to just subtract the first term and forget the other one. So let's just say, change the sign of both terms. And here's how you know you're doing this right. This should cancel off. Negative 7 plus 8m is positive 1m. This drops down, and you write it right here. Then we just repeat the same steps. That's seriously it. So this is not that bad. First step again is to divide. So I'm taking this, dividing it by my first term on the outside. And if you can't do that, I suggest you just get a scratch sheet of paper and write it down. M divided by m, anything divided by itself is 1. The answer I'm going to put up here. Do you guys remember the next steps? Well, it's on the side, so you just got to read it. Multiply. Multiply that 1 to both of your divisors. Put the result right here. And let's do that. 1 times m is 1m. 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. The last step, and you'll never get this wrong, as long as you change both of the signs. Change both of the signs right here. Write a new line, and then subtract. 1 minus 1 is nothing. Negative 11 plus 8 is negative 3. The moment you get to the end, and there's no more terms left right here, then you're done. That is going to be your remainder. Your answer is going to be m plus 1, and kind of like dividing regular numbers, you take your remainder, minus 3, and you put it over your divisor, m minus 8. Bada bing, bada boom. You are done. That is the answer. Here's another way it can show up, written differently, but the same thing. This is your divisor. That is what you're going to write on the outside, just like that. Put the dividend in the inside, 2x squared minus 17x minus 38. I'm going to speed up a little bit. First thing, take the first term and divide it by this. And pretty soon you can do this in your head, but if this is necessary, go for it. The 2's cancel out. X squared divided by x is a single x. That is what you're going to write up here, x. Next step, multiply. Distribute those bad boys. X times 2x is 2x squared, and x times 3 positive 3x. But just write 3x like that, don't write plus. And here's why. You have to change the sign of both terms. So I'm gonna give you that Silva technique and you will get this right no matter what. Just trust my system. So when it's a positive, don't write that plus in between. That way you have that space to write that negative. And you know that you're doing this right when these two terms cancel off. So that's gonna be gone. Negative 17 minus 3. Add the negatives together and you got negative 20x. Drop down that negative 38. Now we just repeat the same step. You're gonna look at negative 20 first, divide it by 2. I'll do that again right here. Negative 20x divided by 2x. X's cancel out. Negative 20 divided by 2. It's just negative 10. That's what we're gonna put right here. And distribute. Distribute that result back into your divisor. So that's gonna get me negative 20x, and negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. Switch them signs. Boom, boom. And those 20s are gonna cancel off. Now you're left with negative 38 plus 30. That's negative 8. And you can't go any further. There are no more terms to drop off. That's when you know you're done. So that is your remainder. And when I write this, it's just x minus 10 minus 8 over your divisor. 2x plus 3. Put me in slow motion if that was too fast, but I am confident that you got this. All right, here is an example, taking it to Super Saiyan mode, going all out. A different example, a lot of stuff going on. When you got a negative exponent like that, that just means divide. That's pretty much dividing. That negative exponent, you gotta flip it to the bottom like that. So you're pretty much dividing. And that's gonna be your divisor. Just have an x plus 7. We're gonna write that on the outside just like this. In the inside, you gotta make sure, one, that this is in order from highest exponent to lowest exponent. And if you look, it's missing an x term. You can't skip one. It goes x squared number. We're missing an x term. So when you get a scenario like this, and this is really important, you have to write it like this if you're gonna do long division. 42x squared, and we just mentioned we're missing the x term, right? It's gone. Where's my x at? So all you gotta do is write plus 0x minus 33. So it has to go x squared, x, and then just a number. Now we can start doing our long division. Take 42x squared, divide it by 7x. Try to do it in your head. This time I got 6x. And then distribute. You get 42x squared, 42x. Remember, don't write that plus right here, because you're going to have to change the signs. And let's do that right now. So those 42s are going to cancel. And I'm going to be left with negative 42x right here. Drop down that negative 33. And then we just keep going. Divide negative 42 by 7. And make sure you pay attention to those negatives. That's going to be negative 6, and then distribute. If I distribute negative 6 to my divisor, I will get negative 42x minus 42. Change the signs. I think you got it right now. I think you're catching along. I hope so. That's going to get you positive 9. There's nothing else left. So my answer is 6x minus 6 plus, because that's a positive 9. 9 over my divisor. 7x plus 7. Pause the video, try these examples out. One of them is regular and the other one, make sure you rearrange terms. I'm going to give you a clue. And it's also missing a term. It's missing a term. I hope you got matching answers. This one was just a regular problem. So you can look at that. Just double check that you did that right. But in this case, right here, one, I tried to trick you. You had to put that one in order first and write x minus 8. You always want to put them in order. And your dividend right here is missing the x again. It's missing that x term, so you want to make sure that you write 0x right here. It always trickles down from highest exponent to lowest exponent. And then you pretty much do the same steps and you will get this answer right here. Whatever it is, the reason that you looked up this video, I hope it really helped you. Now you know how to divide polynomials. If that helped, make sure you throw me that thumbs up and share the video on whoever else needs help with this topic. If you need more math help, type it in the chat box. But until then, I will see you on the next episode. Peace.